Also, in some countries they don't have access to primary education, which means they have a disadvantage in getting a job later, which is also why women are in general underrepresented in the workforce, in management position and in parliaments. Also, almost 1 in 5, so 18% of women between 15 and 49 years have experienced physical and or sexual violence by an intimate partner. And this is just with an intimate partner. There are also a lot of people who are experienced this just with a stranger who's not your intimate partner. Yes. So there are 9 targets in this goal, who try to eliminate violence against women and girls, who try to provide equal access to proper work, to education, and to decision making. And also they try to implement a legal framework that is supporting gender equality. Besides that, gender equality is actually a human right. It's also necessary to foundate a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world, like we already heard before. Because of inequality, they also have problems with getting education. They are having more problems in the zero hunger goal as well, because they are unequally treated. So in some countries, the boy gets the food and the girl doesn't. So it's like almost in every target, actually, you have problems with gender equality. So without fixing this, you cannot fix all the other goals. The first target here is to end all forms of discrimination against all women and girls everywhere. If we look at eliminating violence, we have a target which is eliminate all forms of violence against all women and girls in public and private spheres. That was what I was referring to. We have physical violence, sexual violence, and psychological violence by an intimate partner, but also by another person than your intimate partner. For equal access, we, for example, have the decision making, what I was saying, so to ensure women's full and effective participation and equal opportunities for leadership. This is on the one hand for seats held by women in national parliaments or local governments, and also in management positions. Looking at creating a legal framework that supports and promotes women, we have 3 things here. And to actually promote the use of enabling technology, we have a target to get everyone to have a mobile phone, which maybe sounds crazy for us, but there are a lot of people in the world who don't have a mobile phone, and especially women. So about the current situation, I was just doing some research looking for some headlines. Like, what does it look right now where like this happened in the last years, or like I think actually a few weeks ago Melinda Gates said she would pledge $1 million to gender equality. Also there was a headline that no country will achieve gender equality by 2030, like total equality. And Indonesia raised the minimum age for whites from 16 to 19 years to end child marriage. There's also the president in Brazil who says things like, I would never rape you because you don't deserve it, because you're ugly. And in South Korea, actually, young men are on the streets demonstrating against feminism, like in public, they're just against feminism and protesting against it. In Saudi Arabia, women are allowed to drive a car now and to apply for a passport and travel independently. But also they still need permission for basic things like getting married, getting divorced, open a business, or sometimes even for healthcare. There's also a special case which just happened recently that Iranian women are allowed to enter the football stadium. The story behind that is actually a bit sad, I would say, because it was a woman dressing up like a man because she wanted to smuggle into the stadium. They caught her and she was so afraid what happened to her about the consequences that she set herself on fire. And that's actually why they are allowed to enter football games. And I think this shows a bit like the background. Like, of course, it's nice that women are allowed to go to football games again, but the story behind it shows like how bad the situation is still in this country. Also, with the physical and sexual violence, if you look at it, 2016 was the most recent I could find for this, and I think the worst thing is that no country is actually colored in this really light yellow. So there's no country in the world where there's 0 to 10% of women who have experienced physical or sexual violence by a partner. And I think that's scary. Even in the very good developed countries, this problem starts from 10%. If we look at the most gender equal countries and the least gender equal countries, we have on the first place Iceland. Actually, I think 7th year in a row they're on first place for gender equality. Followed by Norway, Sweden and Finland, all Nordic regions, and then 5th place Nicaragua. The least gender equal country is Yemen, followed by Pakistan, Iraq, Syria and Chad. This is from 2018. So if we look at Iceland, just some facts, like the female to male labor force participation rate is almost 90%, which is really high. And seats in national parliaments held by women are 47.6%. In Yemen, on the other side, the least gender equal country, we only have 8.6% female to male labor force participation rate.